Listen, we know that English isn't always the easiest language to get your head around.
They call him fingers, but I never see him fing.
Pronunciation can be one of the most difficult things to work out, and if you make mistakes, sometimes the things you say won't make complete sense. So we're going to have a look at a great way to help get around that issue.
Nothing can possibly go wrong. Possibly go wrong.
Often, when you're trying to read, you may think the spellings aren't exactly cromulent. I mean, what do you do with these words? Do they sound the same? I'm afraid not. Though, through, thorough. They look almost identical, but sound very different. And often, it's difficult to tell unless you already know. No. Which word rhymes with no? And what's with the silent K anyway? To help make things clearer, most dictionaries will include a phonemic spelling of every word, which shows you exactly how to pronounce it. However, these spellings use symbols that you may have never seen before.
No, children, you're not seeing things. This, my little friends, is a schwa.
So let's see what happens to those words we looked at before in the new spelling. Each symbol in the phonemic spelling only has one possible way of pronouncing it. So while the spelling OUGH can represent many sounds, the schwa can only be one. If you are able to learn these symbols, they will be a great help to you when you find a new word that you are unsure of.
Bart, run like the wind!
Mom, it's wind!
Well, I've only read it in books.
You will notice that the TH sound can be represented by two different symbols. One represents a soft sound for words like though, them, those, etc. The other represents the harder sound for through, thought, and thanks, etc. These symbols are a pair. They are both made by putting your tongue in the same position, but one is voiced while the other is unvoiced. Voiced symbols are made using your voice box. If you put your fingers on your throat and make the sounds, you will see that for one of them, your voice box will vibrate, but for the other, it will not, or at least not as much. Many of the consonant sounds are paired in this way. You may remember that English has 5 vowels, with Y sometimes acting as a substitute. Every word in English will include one of these 6 letters when spelt, but each vowel has several ways of being pronounced. So in the phonemic alphabet, there are 12 vowels plus 8 diphthongs, which are vowels that have been combined. This gives us 20 vowel sounds altogether. In through and thorough, we can see simple vowel sounds that indicate the pronunciation. U, and In though, we see a diphthong, which has 2 vowels next to each other, and so they merge into one sound, O. You can easily see that no and no sound like though, and that now is different. In normal English, though is spelt with 6 letters, but its pronunciation is made with only 2 sounds. The, as in
There, there. There, there.
and O, as in
Ow!
Let's have a look at another word.
Excellent.
In phonemic spelling, this word begins easily enough. The E is the same symbol used for the E sound. However, the phonemic alphabet has no X. The sound for X is made by combining K and S. The C in excellent is included in the KS sound, so we do not need to add anything there. Then we have another E, but this E is pronounced differently to the first one, so we use a different symbol. Here we use the schwa. An important thing to remember about the schwa is that it is lazy.
So lazy and surly.
The schwa cannot be stressed, mainly because the sound is made by relaxing your jaw.
Like Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
Hey, what's going on this side?
So despite the English word being spelt with multiple E's, the actual sounds made are different. E and A. Next is a single L. The English word is spelt with a double L, but when we speak, we only make one sound.
La 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 la.
The last E is also a schwa, and the final 2 consonants are as we expect.
Exactly.
The phonemic alphabet has 24 consonants, most of which will be familiar as they are identical to their normal alphabet counterparts. There is one notable exception and a few symbols that may be unfamiliar, so we'll briefly look at those.
From this moment forth, I will be known as Homer J. Simpson.
The J symbol does not represent the J sound that we expect. Instead, this symbol represents the Y sound that is in words like
Yes.
If we want the J sound, we use a symbol which is a combination of D and a tailed Z. If we separate the sounds, the D is as we expect. The tailed Z makes a Z sound that we find in words like
Explosion.
We already discussed the theta and the eth. The esh represents the sh sound we hear in words like
Shabadoo.
A T paired with the esh creates a ch sound for words like
Children!
And finally, a symbol that combines an N with a G for words such as
Frying pan.
Hopefully you are beginning to see how precise the phonemic alphabet is for displaying pronunciation. As we have seen, it is especially useful when it comes to vowel sounds.
Notice I no longer say library or tamari.
One thing to remember is that if a symbol is followed by a colon, the double dots, that means it is a long sound. For example, I is the sound for
Fish.
while I with a colon is the sound for.
Sweet kid.
Take a look at this chart and see if you can read the words. I'll give you a moment, but you may want to pause the video. How did you do? You might have noticed the little apostrophes in the words too. These signify which syllables to stress when you say the words. So now, if you are unsure of the pronunciation of a word, you can look it up in a dictionary and use the phonemic spelling to show you how it is said.
I finally got around to reading the dictionary. Turns out the zebra did it.
I hope this explanation has embiggened your understanding and you don't think that this was the worst video ever.